mark in the galaxy. But their success did not go unnoticed. The Galactic Council, an ancient group of powerful alien races, kept a close eye on them. These beings were old, wise, and far more advanced than humans. For centuries, they ruled the galaxy with strict laws and demands. And now, they had turned their attention to Earth. One day, a message arrived from the Council. It was addressed to all of humanity and delivered through every communication channel on Earth. The message was simple but chilling. The Galactic Council requires tribute. Submit your most valuable resources or face destruction. The demand shocked everyone. People around the world watched the news in disbelief. What could the Council want? Why had they chosen this moment to confront humanity? Earth's leaders quickly organized a response. A team was sent to meet with the Council aboard their massive orbital station, *Erindor*. Leading the delegation was Ambassador Alan Carter, a calm and thoughtful man known for his sharp mind. With him was Lieutenant Lisa Monroe, a skilled military strategist who understood both diplomacy and warfare. Together, they represented Earth's hopes and fears. When they arrived at *Erindor*, the size of the station overwhelmed them. It was like a small moon, glowing faintly against the blackness of space. Inside, towering aliens dressed in shimmering robes awaited them. Each member of the Council looked strange and unfamiliar, with features that seemed almost too perfect, or too monstrous, to be real. At the center stood Zixar, the leader of the Council. His voice boomed as he spoke, filling the vast chamber. "You are young," Zixar said, staring down at Alan and Lisa. "Your kind has spread too quickly, taken too much. You must learn respect. Pay tribute, or we will erase you." Alan tried to stay composed. He cleared his throat and asked, "What exactly do you want from us?" Zixar tilted his head slightly, as if amused by the question. "Your rarest minerals, your finest technology, and your strongest warriors. Give these to us willingly, and you may live." Lisa clenched her fists behind her back. Tribute? Warriors? This wasn't just about resources. It felt like slavery. She glanced at Alan, silently urging him to push back. But Alan stayed calm. "And if we refuse?" he asked carefully. Zixar's expression darkened. "Refusal means extinction. Do not test us, human." The meeting ended shortly after that. As Alan and Lisa walked back to their ship, neither spoke. The weight of the situation hung heavy between them. Finally, Alan broke the silence. "We can't give in," he said firmly. Lisa nodded in agreement. Giving up their freedom wasn't an option. Not for humanity. Back on Earth, people waited anxiously for news. When Alan reported what had happened, fear spread like wildfire. But amidst the panic, something else began to grow. Determination. Humanity had faced challenges before. They had survived wars, plagues, and natural disasters. Now they would have to decide how to respond to this new threat. One thing was clear: they couldn't let the Council crush them without a fight. As discussions began among world leaders, Alan quietly thought about the Council's arrogance. Their belief that humanity would simply obey angered him. In his heart, he knew one thing for sure: Earth wouldn't bow easily. Whatever came next, humanity would stand its ground. After returning from the Galactic Council's orbital station, Ambassador Alan Carter delivered the grim news to Earth's leaders. The Council's demand for tribute had sent shockwaves through every nation. World leaders gathered in Geneva for an emergency summit, their faces reflecting a mix of fear and determination. President Rachel Bennett, a steady and compassionate leader, stood at the center of the room, ready to guide humanity through this crisis. The meeting began with heated arguments. General Ethan Cole, a gruff man with years of military experience, believed war was inevitable. "They're testing us," he said, slamming his fist on the table. "If we give them what they want, they'll only take more. We need to prepare for a fight." Others disagreed. Some leaders argued that humanity couldn't win against such powerful enemies. "Look at their technology," one diplomat said, pointing to footage of the Council's massive ships. "We're outmatched. If we refuse, they'll destroy us." Rachel listened carefully, her expression calm but serious. She understood both sides. Fighting meant risking everything: Earth, its people, and its future. But giving in would mean surrendering freedom and dignity. Humanity had always found ways to survive, to adapt. Could they do it again? Alan Carter finally spoke up. He reminded everyone of humanity's resilience. "We've faced extinction before," he said. "Diseases, wars, climate disasters. We've overcome them all. This is no different. But we need to respond wisely." He suggested sending one final message to the Council, a bold statement that would show humanity's strength and resolve. "What kind of message?" someone asked. Alan hesitated for a moment, then said, "One word: never." The room fell silent. Never? Was it too defiant? Too risky? Rachel broke the silence. "It's simple," she said. "It says we won't back down. It tells them we're not afraid, even if we are." Slowly, others began to nod. It was risky, but it might also buy them time and respect. As the debate continued, plans were made. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock to improve Earth's defenses. Dr. Emily Shaw, a brilliant physicist, led a team developing experimental weapons. Her goal was to create something that could level the playing field against the Council's advanced technology. Meanwhile, General Cole organized the military, preparing fleets of starships for battle. On the ground, ordinary people also played their part. Factories shifted production to build weapons and supplies. Volunteers joined training programs, learning how to defend their homes. Communities came together, sharing resources and supporting each other. Despite the fear, there was a growing sense of unity. People talked about the Council's demands with anger and defiance. Posters appeared in cities, bearing the word "never" in bold letters. Rachel addressed the world in a live broadcast. Standing in front of a flag representing Earth's United Nations, she spoke clearly and confidently. "We've been given an ultimatum," she said, "but we will not bow. We will not give up. Our response to the Galactic Council is one word: never. Let them hear our voice. Let them know who we are." Her words resonated across the globe. Crowds cheered in streets, holding signs that read "Never surrender" and "Stand together." Even those who had doubted humanity's chances felt a spark of hope. For the first time, Earth truly felt united, not as separate nations, but as one species fighting for survival. Behind the scenes, Alan worked tirelessly to strengthen alliances. He reached out to other civilizations, hoping to find allies willing to stand with humanity. Though many feared the Council too much to help, a few offered quiet support. Information, supplies, and even volunteers began trickling in. As days passed, Earth prepared for the worst. Starships were upgraded, planetary defenses fortified, and evacuation plans drawn up. No one knew what the Council's reaction would be, but everyone agreed on one thing: humanity wouldn't go down without a fight. And so, with the word "never" echoing across the galaxy, Earth braced itself for whatever came next. Whatever happened, humanity was ready to face it together. As Earth prepared for the Council's response, every moment counted. The word "never" had been sent, and now humanity waited with bated breath. Scientists and engineers worked day and night to strengthen Earth's defenses. Among them was Dr. Emily Shaw, a determined physicist who led a team developing a secret weapon. Her project, called the Quantum Destabilizer, aimed to disable the Council's powerful energy shields, a key advantage in their arsenal. Though untested, it was Earth's best hope. General Ethan Cole focused on upgrading the military fleet. Starships were fitted with new weapons, faster engines, and stronger armor. At the heart of the fleet was the Odyssey, a newly commissioned battleship commanded by Captain Daniel Harper. Daniel was a quiet man with sharp instincts, respected by his crew for his calm leadership. He spent hours studying maps of nearby star systems, planning strategies to defend Earth at all costs. Lieutenant Lisa Monroe, who had accompanied Alan Carter to the council meeting, played a crucial role too. She trained pilots and coordinated tactical simulations, ensuring everyone was ready for battle. "We might be outnumbered," she told her team, "but we have something they don't: heart." On the ground, ordinary citizens joined the effort. Factories churned out supplies, and volunteers helped build planetary defense grids. Cities buzzed with activity as people prepared shelters and evacuation routes. Posters reading "Stand Strong" and "United We Fight" covered walls, boosting morale. Even children pitched in, collecting scrap metal and drawing pictures of Earth's starships defeating the Council's armada. President Rachel Bennett traveled across the globe, visiting colonies and speaking to leaders. She reminded everyone that humanity's strength lay in unity. "We've always risen to challenges," she said during one speech. "This is no different. Together, we'll protect our home." Her words inspired millions, giving them courage in uncertain times. Meanwhile, Ambassador Alan Carter worked behind the scenes. He studied recordings of the council meetings, searching for weaknesses. One night, while reviewing old diplomatic records, he noticed something unusual. The council wasn't as united as it seemed. Some members resented others, and rivalries simmered beneath the surface. Alan saw an opportunity. If he could exploit these divisions, maybe he could weaken the council's resolve. He reached out secretly to one faction, offering future trade deals if they stayed neutral during the conflict. It was a risky move. If the council discovered his plan, it could mean disaster. But after tense negotiations, two species agreed to step back. They didn't trust humanity, but they disliked the idea of empowering their rivals even more. Back on Earth, preparations neared completion. The quantum destabilizer passed its first test, though barely. Dr. Shaw warned it needed proximity to work effectively, meaning someone would have to get dangerously close to the enemy fleet. Daniel volunteered without hesitation. "It's my job," he said simply when questioned about the risks. As days turned into weeks, tension mounted. Scouts reported sightings of council ships near Jupiter, watching silently. People on Earth grew anxious, wondering when, or if, the attack would come. News outlets broadcast updates constantly, keeping everyone informed. Families gathered around screens, praying for good news. One evening, Rachel addressed the world again. Standing in front of a holographic map of the solar system, she spoke with quiet determination. "We don't know what tomorrow will bring," she admitted. "But I do know this: humanity has never backed down from a challenge. Whether through diplomacy or battle, we will face this threat head-on, and we will prevail." Her words resonated deeply. Across the planet, people felt a renewed sense of purpose. Whatever happened next, they were ready. Earth's defenses were strong, its people united, and its spirit unbreakable. As stars twinkled above, humanity stood firm, waiting for the Council's next move, and preparing to fight for their place in the galaxy. The Council's response came sooner than anyone expected. A massive armada appeared near Jupiter, its ships blotting out the light of the distant sun. The vessels were enormous, far larger than anything humanity had ever built. Their sleek designs shimmered with alien technology, and their sheer numbers made Earth's fleet look small in comparison. Panic rippled through the colonies as images of the fleet spread across news channels. But amidst the fear, there was also resolve. Humanity had prepared for this moment. Zixar, the council leader, sent a transmission directly to Earth. His voice boomed over every communication system, cold and unyielding. "You have defied us," he said. "Surrender now, or we will destroy your world. You have 24 hours. The message ended abruptly, leaving silence in its wake. General Ethan Cole sprang into action. He ordered Captain Daniel Harper to take the Odyssey and a small squadron of ships to intercept the Council fleet. The goal wasn't to win, yet, but to test the enemy's strength and buy time for Earth's final preparations. Daniel accepted the mission without hesitation. Lieutenant Lisa Monroe insisted on joining him, bringing her tactical expertise to the front lines. As the squadron approached the Council Armada, the sight was overwhelming. The alien ships loomed like mountains, their surfaces glowing faintly with energy. Daniel gave the order to hold position just outside weapons range. "Let's see what they do," he told his crew. For a moment, nothing happened. Then one of the Council ships fired a warning shot, a bolt of energy that streaked past the Odyssey and exploded harmlessly in space. "They're toying with us," Lisa muttered, gripping the edge of her console. Daniel nodded. "Time to show them we're not so easy to intimidate." He ordered a feint, a quick attack designed to draw the Council ships into a predictable pattern. Two smaller human vessels darted forward, firing short bursts before retreating. As expected, the Council fleet responded by sending several ships to pursue them. The movement revealed gaps in their formation, which Daniel noted carefully. When the Council ships closed in, Daniel launched a counterattack. The Odyssey unleashed a barrage of missiles, targeting one of the smaller alien vessels. The ship's shields absorbed most of the damage, but the attack forced it to retreat. It was a small victory, but an important one. It proved the Council's defenses weren't invincible. However, the Council quickly adapted. They surrounded the human squadron, cutting off escape routes. Energy beams lashed out, striking the Odyssey's hull. Alarms blared as the ship shuddered under the assault. "Shields are down to 40%, shouted one crew member. "Evasive maneuvers," Daniel commanded. The Odyssey banked sharply, narrowly avoiding another blast. Lisa coordinated with the other ships, guiding them through the chaos. One by one, the smaller vessels broke free, retreating back toward Earth. Daniel knew they couldn't stay much longer. The mission had served its purpose. They had gathered valuable data about the Council's tactics and exposed weaknesses in their formations. "Time to go," he said firmly. With one last volley of fire, the Odyssey turned and raced away, pursued briefly by Council ships before they gave up the chase. Back on Earth, Daniel reported grimly to General Cole and President Rachel Bennett. "They're stronger than we thought," he admitted, "but not unbeatable. We can fight them if we hit them smart." Rachel listened intently, her expression calm but determined. "Then we'll hit them smart," she said. "We've come too far to give up now." As the Council fleet advanced toward Earth, humanity braced itself for the final battle. The quantum destabilizer was ready. The fleets were prepared, and the people stood united. Whatever happened next, they would face it together. With the Council fleet advancing toward Earth, humanity's last hope rested on a risky plan. The quantum destabilizer, developed by Dr. Emily Shaw, was ready for deployment. But it required getting dangerously close to the enemy ships to work. Captain Daniel Harper volunteered to lead the mission aboard the Odyssey, knowing full well the odds were against him. Alongside Lieutenant Lisa Monroe and a small dedicated crew, he prepared for what could be their final battle. Ambassador Alan Carter, meanwhile, worked tirelessly behind the scenes. He had discovered cracks in the Council's unity, rivalries, and old grudges between its members. Using this knowledge, he reached out covertly to one faction, offering future trade deals and alliances if they stayed neutral during the conflict. It was a gamble, but it paid off. Two key species within the Council agreed to step back, weakening the Armada's strength. Though they didn't openly support humanity, their withdrawal created confusion and hesitation among the remaining Council forces. As the Council fleet approached Saturn, Daniel positioned the Odyssey near the planet's rings, using them as cover. The plan was simple but perilous. Lure the Council flagship into range, deploy the destabilizer, and disable its shields. From there, Earth's fleet would launch a concentrated attack. Success depended on timing, precision, and sheer luck. The battle began with a sudden charge from the human fleet. Starships darted through space, firing salvos at the Council vessels. The aliens responded with overwhelming firepower, their energy beams cutting through human defenses. Despite heavy losses, the smaller human ships executed daring maneuvers, drawing the Council fleet closer to Saturn. Daniel waited patiently, his eyes glued to the view screen. When the flagship finally entered range, he gave the order. Deploy the destabilizer. The device fired a pulse of quantum energy, invisible to the naked eye, but devastating in effect. The Council ship's shields flickered and collapsed, leaving it vulnerable for the first time. Seizing the opportunity, Daniel ordered the Odyssey to fire everything it had. Missiles streaked across space, slamming into the flagship's hull. Explosions lit up the darkness as the massive ship listed to one side. Chaos erupted among the Council fleet as they scrambled to protect their leader. Zixar, the Council leader, appeared on the communications screen, his expression furious. "You dare challenge us?" he roared. Daniel met his gaze calmly. "Yes," he replied, "and we're not backing down." The Council flagship attempted to retreat, but Daniel anticipated the move. He maneuvered the Odyssey to block its escape route, engaging in a fierce dogfight. Lasers flashed, and debris filled the void as both ships exchanged blows. Inside the Odyssey, alarms blared, and sparks flew from damaged consoles. Yet the crew held their ground, determined to see the mission through. Finally, a well-placed shot from the Odyssey struck the flagship's core. The alien vessel erupted in a blinding explosion, sending shockwaves through the battlefield. Without their leader, the remaining Council ships faltered. Some retreated entirely, while others hesitated, unsure of what to do next. Back on Earth, people watched the battle unfold in real time. Cheers erupted as news of the flagship's destruction spread. President Rachel Bennett addressed the world once more, her voice steady and triumphant. "Today, we showed the galaxy that humanity will not bend to tyranny. We fought for our freedom, and we won." Though battered and weary, the human fleet regrouped around the Odyssey. Daniel looked at his crew, pride swelling in his chest. They had done the impossible. But he knew the fight wasn't over yet. The Council might return, stronger and angrier. For now, though, humanity had proven it could stand toe-to-toe with the greatest powers in the galaxy and survive. The destruction of the Council's flagship marked a turning point in the battle, but it wasn't the end. The remaining alien ships regrouped, their movements chaotic and uncertain without Zixar's leadership. Some retreated entirely, vanishing into the depths of space, while others lingered, unwilling to give up. Captain Daniel Harper and his crew aboard the Odyssey knew they couldn't let their guard down. Not yet. Lieutenant Lisa Monroe worked quickly to assess the situation. "Their formation is breaking," she reported, pointing to the view screen. "But they're still dangerous." Daniel nodded. He ordered the human fleet to press their advantage, targeting the weaker ships first. Starships darted through the battlefield, firing salvos at the disorganized enemy forces. One by one, the Council vessels either fled or were destroyed. Back on Earth, President Rachel Bennett watched the battle unfold from the command center. Her hands gripped the edge of the table as she listened to updates from General Ethan Cole. "They're falling back," he said, his voice filled with cautious optimism. "We might actually win this." But Rachel remained focused. Winning the battle was one thing. Securing peace was another. She turned to Ambassador Alan Carter, who had been monitoring communications from the Council fleet. "What about the factions that stayed neutral?" she asked. "Can we use this moment to negotiate?" Alan nodded. "Yes. With their leader gone and their fleet weakened, they'll be more willing to talk. But we need to act fast before they recover." Rachel agreed. She authorized Alan to send a message to the remaining Council members, offering a ceasefire in exchange for recognition of Earth's independence. It was a bold move, but humanity had earned the right to stand on equal footing. As the Council fleet continued to retreat, Daniel positioned the Odyssey near Saturn's rings once more, ready to defend Earth if needed. The ship had taken heavy damage during the battle, and the crew was exhausted, but their spirits remained high. "We've done what everyone thought was impossible," Daniel told them. "But our job isn't over yet. Stay sharp." Hours passed, and the Council finally responded. Their transmission came not from Zixer, but from a different leader, one of the species that had initially stayed neutral. "Humanity has proven its strength," the alien said, its tone measured. "We will withdraw and honor your request for sovereignty. But know this, the galaxy is watching. Do not mistake this for friendship." Rachel accepted the terms without hesitation. "This isn't just a victory for Earth," she told the world in a broadcast. "It's a victory for all who believe in freedom and justice. We've shown the galaxy that we won't bow to fear or oppression." Across the planet, people erupted in celebration. Streets filled with cheering crowds, waving flags and chanting "Never" in defiance of the Council's demands. Families hugged each other, tears streaming down their faces. For the first time in weeks, hope replaced fear. In the days that followed, Earth began to rebuild. Damaged ships were repaired, colonies were stocked, and defenses strengthened. Dr. Emily Shaw and her team worked to refine the quantum destabilizer, ensuring humanity would never be caught off guard again. General Cole oversaw the reorganization of the military, preparing for any future threats. Daniel Harper returned to Earth a hero, though he preferred the quiet life aboard the Odyssey. Lieutenant Lisa Monroe received commendations for her bravery, but she insisted the real heroes were the countless men and women who had fought together. "This wasn't about one person," she said during an interview. "It was about all of us." Ambassador Alan Carter continued his diplomatic efforts, reaching out to other civilizations to form alliances. Humanity had earned respect in the galaxy, but Alan knew trust would take time to build. Still, he felt hopeful. "We've taken the first step," he told Rachel. "Now we need to keep moving forward." Though the Council had retreated, everyone knew the galaxy was vast and full of challenges. But for now, humanity stood tall, proud of what they had achieved. They had faced extinction and refused to back down, and in doing so, they had claimed their place among the stars. The victory over the Galactic Council marked a new chapter for humanity. Earth had proven itself not just as a survivor, but as a force to be reckoned with in the galaxy. The Council's retreat sent a clear message: humanity would no longer be pushed around. But the battle had also taught them an important lesson. Peace was fragile, and trust needed to be earned. President Rachel Bennett addressed the world one final time from the United Earth Assembly Hall. Her voice was calm, but filled with determination. "Today, we celebrate our triumph," she said, looking into the cameras. "But let this moment remind us of our responsibility. We've shown the galaxy that we are strong, but now we must show that we are wise. We will rebuild, explore, and grow, but we will do so with respect for others." Her words resonated deeply. Across the planet, people began to focus on healing and progress. Factories that had been producing weapons shifted back to creating tools and technology for everyday life. Scientists who had worked tirelessly on defense projects turned their attention to improving life on Earth and its colonies. Dr. Emily Shaw, whose quantum destabilizer had played a key role in the battle, started researching ways to use quantum energy for peaceful purposes like clean power and faster travel. Ambassador Alan Carter continued his work, reaching out to other civilizations. Many were wary of humanity after the conflict with the Council, but some saw an opportunity. Trade agreements were signed with distant species, and cultural exchanges began to take shape. For the first time, humans learned about alien art, music, and history, while sharing their own stories in return. Slowly but surely, bridges were built. Captain Daniel Harper returned to space aboard the Odyssey, leading missions to explore uncharted star systems. Though the scars of battle still lingered, he found peace in the quiet vastness of space. Lieutenant Lisa Monroe joined him on many of these voyages, her tactical mind helping navigate both dangers and diplomacy. Together, they mapped new worlds and discovered resources that could benefit Earth for generations to come. Back home, General Ethan Cole oversaw the reorganization of Earth's defenses. He knew the Council might return one day, stronger and angrier. But instead of living in fear, he focused on making humanity even more resilient. Military bases were upgraded, training programs expanded, and alliances strengthened with Earth's colonies. "We won't wait for the next threat," he told his officers. "We'll be ready." As months passed, the word never became a symbol of hope across the galaxy. It represented defiance, unity, and courage, not just for humans, but for others who dreamed of freedom. Stories of Earth's stand against the Council spread far and wide, inspiring weaker species to resist oppression. Rachel often thought about what the future held. She imagined humanity meeting new friends and new enemies as they ventured deeper into the stars. But she believed in their ability to adapt and thrive. "We're explorers at heart," she once said during a speech. "And now we have the chance to explore not just space, but ourselves. Who we are, what we value, and how we can contribute to the galaxy." One evening, as Rachel stood on a balcony overlooking Earth's capital city, she gazed up at the night sky. Stars twinkled above, each one a reminder of how far humanity had come and how much farther they could go. Beside her, Alan Carter joined in silence, his eyes reflecting the same awe. "We've made history," Alan said softly, "but this is only the beginning." Rachel nodded, a small smile forming on her lips. "Yes," she replied, "and whatever comes next, we'll face it together." Across the galaxy, humanity looked outward once more, ready to carve its place among the stars. They had fought for their freedom, earned their independence, and proven their strength. Now, they would step into the unknown, not as subjects or victims, but as equals. And in doing so, they carried with them the spirit of